Today we're going to talk about the steps that a teacher would need to take in order to create a virtual performance. Once you've decided on what piece you want your students to play, you need to go ahead and set up a reference recording for the students to play against. Here we've decided to play Evil Ways. Your reference recording can either be a click track that you create on your own or an existing audio recording that is out there that you send to your students. For Evil Ways, I know the publisher has a recording on YouTube that I could just send the link to my students, but I want to create a count-in so that everyone starts together. So I'm going to capture the audio recording on JW Pepper. To get the clearest sound possible, I use a Mac extension named Soundflower to route audio from the JW Pepper site to my recording software. You could also connect an external source like a phone to your computer using an aux cable and playing the recording from the phone while recording the audio from your computer. Now, if all of that is too difficult, you can just simply grab your phone or a separate device and then go ahead and record it. So you can just go to your voice memos or something like that, and then just put it to the speaker and record it. That works just as well. Probably not as good of a sound, but it works. For this project, I'm going to use GarageBand to make the recording. Once you open the program, create an empty project. At this point, I've already installed Soundflower, so I need to select Soundflower as my input source. Make sure you press the microphone icon and press Create. I then need to go to my system preferences and click on the sound icon. There, I will select Soundflower as my system input and output. Now it is time to record your audio in GarageBand. Before you press record, turn off the count-in and the metronome functions. Go ahead and press record. Then head over to the recording you found on the internet and press play. You won't hear any sound while it is playing, but you will see that GarageBand is registering the sound and recording it. Press stop when no more sound waves are detected. You can then go back to the internet recording and close down the window. Next, we need to create a separate count-in track so everyone can start together. For this next step, make sure that you have headphones plugged into your computer. In GarageBand, we will move back to the beginning of the recording. After that, I need to change my sound preferences and change my output setting to my headphones and my input to the internal microphone. I do not suggest using Bluetooth headphones, as there may be a delay between what you hear and what you are recording. Next, we need to create a new track in GarageBand and select your built-in microphone as your input. Then you will need to press Create. You should start seeing your voice registering in that track. Since this piece starts with a pickup on beat 4, I want to create a 2-measure count-off where beat 4 will line up with the pickup. So that I don't have to guess where the beat is, I will press record and wait a couple of measures and then perform my 2-measure count-in like so. One, two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4. You will then want to stop the recording and trim the beginning and the end of the track so that you just have your 2-measure count-in. You will then use the last beat of your count-in and line it up with the pickup. You may need to magnify the timeline so you can be precise. You will then want to trim the front of the reference track to start after your count-in. After that, simply press Shift and select both tracks and drag them to the beginning of the timeline. Now press play to hear your recording. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that your recording is complete, you need to export the file to MP3 so that you can share it with your students. Okay, so now that we know that it lines up and we've heard it, we're going to go ahead and share it and go ahead and export it into a a file, an MP3 file, and we will call it Evil Ways reference. And then we'll save it in our computer, and probably the best way is an MP3, and then export it. And then we should have our now Evil Ways reference, and we should hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have now successfully set up a file with a count in and are ready to send it to your students. In the next video, we will discuss what your students will need to have in order to successfully bring your project to completion.